You ever buy a house thinking you've just snagged the jackpot of freedom, only to realize you accidentally bought front row seats to the wildest HOA rodeo in Florida? Yeah, welcome to my life. I moved down here from Chicago, finally cashing in years of hard work as an architect for a shot at some sunshine, a pool, and a little peace and quiet. No landlords, no nosy neighbors, just me, a modern Lakeview home, and a pool that lit up like a Vegas hotel at night. I called it Harper's Haven, mostly as a joke, but maybe it was tempting fate. Now before I signed those closing papers, you better believe I checked the plat maps, deed, every zoning report I could get my hands on. I made damn sure there was no homeowners association waiting to pounce. My house, my rules, that's what I told myself. For about 2 weeks, I was living the dream. Then I met Karen. She came strutting up my driveway like she owned the place. Tall, sharp blonde bob, pastel button-down, khakis, clipboard in hand. You know the type. The kind of person who schedules their personality in 5-minute increments. Hi, I'm Karen, president of the Lakeside Community HOA. She stuck out her hand like she was offering a peace treaty. I just smiled and said, "Nice to meet you, but I'm not part of the HOA." You'd think I told her I club baby seals for fun, the way her face froze. "Oh well," she said, "all properties on this block are technically under the association's covenant. I'm sure your realtor just didn't clarify." "My title and survey say otherwise," I replied, probably a little too smug. "No HOA." Her smile got tight enough to crack glass. "Well, I'm sure you'll still want to be a good neighbor. We have a lovely tradition of sharing amenities with the community. Your pool, for instance." I just laughed, couldn't help it. Yeah, that's not happening. And that, my friends, was the first drop of chlorine in my little paradise, and it wasn't in the water. At first, I thought maybe I was just reading too much into it. Maybe Karen would get the message. But a couple days later, I found a towel, not mine, folded neatly on a lounge chair by the pool. Then an empty juice box in the grass. Kids cutting through the yard? The wind? I tried to let it go. Until Saturday. I step out, mug of coffee in hand, and I hear giggling, splashing, and yep, you guessed it, Karen, wide-brimmed hat, sunglasses, stretched out on my chair like she's at the Ritz. Her grandkids, at least 3, were cannonballing into my pool. Pool noodles everywhere, juice boxes floating like buoys, some kids' music blaring from a Bluetooth speaker. I just stood there for a second, honestly stunned. "Excuse me, what the hell is going on here?" I called out. Karen looks up like I've interrupted her spa day. "Oh, Zachary, good morning." The kids were just dying to swim, and with this heat. "I do mind," I snapped. "You can't just walk onto my property and use my pool." She actually laughed. "Don't be so rigid. We're neighbors. We believe in community spirit here. Community spirit doesn't override private property law. You and the kids need to leave, now." She huffed, packed up the kids, and marched off, muttering about selfish newcomers. Spent the next hour fishing Capri Sun straws and soggy crackers out of the skimmer. But that was just the opening act. Over the next week, I caught 2 different women I'd never seen before cutting through my backyard with towels. I put up private property signs on every inch of the fence. A day later, there's a passive-aggressive sticky note on my mailbox. "Don't be the reason the kids have no summer." Then the flyers started. Hot pink, taped to mailboxes. Community amenities for all. Let's keep Lakeside neighborly. They even had a blurry photo of my pool. At this point, I realized it wasn't an accident. It was a campaign. Karen was orchestrating a full-scale pressure operation. She was running for queen of the pool, and I was public enemy number 1. I laminated my survey map, stapled it to the front gate, and called my lawyer. No more Mr. Nice Neighbor. Karen wanted a war, and she'd just fired the first shot. See, I'm not a confrontational guy. I'd rather lock my gate, mind my own business, and keep my grass just neat enough to avoid a raccoon uprising. But when people treat your property like a public splash pad, it's time to suit up. Next, I went full Batman. Motion sensor cameras everywhere, even over by the garage where Karen once tried to accidentally hang a 4th of July banner that blocked my side gate. I got alerts to my phone every time a squirrel twitched near the fence. And then for fun, I bought a drone. Thermal camera for K-zoom, slow patrol mode. I named it Clifford, the big red threat detector. Clifford caught a lot. One night, around 9:45, a couple neighborhood teens, Karen's grandsons, based on their HOA Facebook group selfies, hopped my fence, tried to sneak a swim. Clifford spotlighted them like the Eye of Sauron. They scattered. I watched from my phone, sipping whiskey, feeling like a Bond villain. Next day, I posted a still frame to the neighborhood app. Nice try, fellas. Smile, you're on Harper's security. Karen lost it. She banged on my door. Your drone is spying on children. No, I replied. It's protecting my property from unauthorized pool intruders. You're being hostile, she barked. This community has always shared. Well, then I guess the math checks out, I shrugged. That week, Karen's out with a tape measure and a guy in a vest, inspecting the easement zone. He looked like he'd just realized he was on the wrong side of a lawsuit. My lawyer, Randy Harris, guy in Hawaiian shirts, called himself the land shark, filed a cease and desist. He also prepped a civil suit, trespassing, defamation, harassment. We weren't just stopping Karen. We were about to make her HOA presidency the most expensive volunteer gig of her life. Neighbors started picking sides. Some folks avoided me, others left key lime pie on my doorstep, whispering, "We don't agree with how she's handling this." Solid pie, by the way. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I had a shot at winning. But Karen wasn't done. She wanted a war with receipts and Clifford. The day in court finally came. Karen waltzed in like Elle Woods with a color-coded binder and an entourage. HOA board, maybe a dog walker, all in tow. Her lawyer, slick guy with a Bluetooth earpiece, looked like he was waiting for a call from the White House. On our side, it's just me, Randy Flamingo Socks, a property expert, and a USB stick with more gigabytes of Karen than I care to admit. Day one, Karen's lawyer paints me as a bitter recluse, locking out neighborhood joy. They parade neighbors, including a woman who sobbed about her twins having to swim at a municipal pool with strangers. Randy just stands up, taps the table. "Your Honor, may I enter Exhibit A?" It's a video of Karen unlocking my gate, waving a margarita, and diving into my pool in broad daylight. The judge actually snorted. We laid out everything: surveys, drone footage, timestamps, expert testimony. One recording had Karen saying, "He won't give in unless we make him miserable enough." That landed like a sledgehammer. The real climax was the HOA survey. Every signature traced copies of Karen's, including one neighbor who'd moved to Arizona 4 years ago. By the end, Karen looked like a wax statue melting in the Florida sun. The judge barely deliberated. This case exemplifies an egregious abuse of perceived authority. Mr. Harper is awarded $300,000 in damages, to be paid by Ms. Karen Rollins personally. Boom. Her lawyer looked like someone just backed over his Lexus. Karen gasped so loud, I thought she'd swallow her clipboard. The judgment ordered Karen to resign, retract all accusations, and she was permanently banned from my property. Freedom at last, or so I thought. But Karen wasn't done falling. She just started digging. Within a week, the HOA listserv erupted into full-blown rebellion. Board members quit in droves. Karen was booted unceremoniously, tried to staple moral decay flyers to the pool cabana, and had to be escorted out. The $300,000 judgment hung over her like a cartoon anvil. She refused to sell her house, called realtors pool radicals. For a while, it was blissfully quiet. Then Randy calls. "You sitting down?" Turns out Karen had been arrested for trying to rob a jewelry store. Yes, you heard that right, in a disguise, waving a fake gun, trying to smash a case with a garden gnome. Her getaway car? A silver Prius covered in HOA bumper stickers and expired tags. It was like a bad sitcom. The story went viral, from bylaws to outlaws. She was charged with attempted robbery, trespassing, property damage. Bail denied. It was tragic, yeah, but also poetic. The woman who tried to take my pool ended up trying to steal diamonds because she couldn't admit defeat. My neighbors, who once gave me the side eye, now waved. Some brought over lasagna, best apology in suburbia, hands down. I hosted a barbecue, Clifford the drone buzzed overhead, and for the first time, the neighborhood actually felt like a community. The silence that came after felt different. Honest, earned. It smelled like grass, chlorine, and sometimes Phil's grilled breakfast drifting over the fence. The new HOA was all about gardens and shared tool sheds, no more militarized borders. I stayed away from the board, but they invited me to say a few words at their first meeting. I didn't move here to start a war, I said, just wanted to swim in peace without explaining the Fourth Amendment every time I dried off. Got a standing ovation. Clifford's now the neighborhood mascot. He even films backyard Nerf wars. Karen, last I heard, is serving time. Her garden gnome, the one she tried to rob the store with, is now on display at the clubhouse. They named him Sir Clorox, defender of property rights. It was a unanimous vote. These days, my pool is just mine again. No uninvited kids, no pool noodle invasions, no sticky notes. Just me, a drink, and the people I choose to welcome. The sun sets the same way, but it feels warmer, safer, freer. Karen tried to build an empire on rules and fear. In the end, she gave us an actual community, stronger, goofier, and a hell of a lot more fun. One evening, I'm out by the pool, fixing a signpost along the magic path the neighborhood kids named, and a shy girl asks if this is Harper House. My aunt used to talk about a magic blue path and the best view of the water, she said. I just smiled. You found it. We walked the path, laughter echoing behind us. That's what freedom sounds like, peace, not power. So now I'll ask you, when is it right to stand your ground? What would you have done? Ever battled for your own patch of peace, or let it slide? Drop your thoughts, your stories, your verdicts down below. Because sometimes the fight for what's right changes a whole neighborhood, and sometimes it just gives you your pool back.